Religious habits were originally based on the dress of the day. Catherine Macaulay modeled the mercy habit on the presentation habit, which in turn was based on the Ursuline habit. As women's fashions changed, habits did not. Wearing the traditional mercy habit was a privilege from 1831 until 1966. The ceremony of reception of the habit, symbol of membership in the community, was the first milestone in religious life. It was a time of excitement and anticipation. The black habit and a white veil were blessed during the reception ceremony. Postulants left the sanctuary with the bundle and returned dressed as novices. When novices pronounced first vows, the black veil was blessed and replaced the white veil. At perpetual profession, a ring with the pious motto was blessed during the ceremony and placed on the left hand of each sister by the superior. The veil color and the ring revealed a sister's status in the community. Chapter 5 in the Mercy Constitutions contain general directions regarding the habit. Chapter 15 of the Union Customs and Guides enlarged this to 15 pages of very specific instructions. Proper respect for the habit meant that it was accurately made, always neat and clean, and very carefully mended. It was worn from 5:30 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. Each sister had 3 habits: a good habit for big feast days and celebrations, a ministry habit, and a domestic work habit that was often a hand-me-down from a deceased sister. In later times, sister nurses and those working in tropical climates wore white habits and veils that could be washed often. It's amazing that even though some communities' highest superiors made minor changes, the habit remained essentially the same all over the world. Postulants anticipated wearing the habit, but first they had to learn how to make it. A lack of sewing experience could be problematic. Usually, a senior sister with sewing expertise and a lot of patience taught them. The habit dress was made from 3 to 5 yards of material, pleated from yoke to waist, with each pleat 3/4 to an inch wide. The hem was 10 inches deep and reached within 2.5 inches of the floor. When edges of the pleats wore out, the material was turned inside out and repleated. It was the custom to show reverence for the habit by kissing each part and saying a prescribed prayer as one got dressed. The language of these prayers sounds foreign to our modern ears. For the dress, clothe my soul, O Lord, with the nuptial robe of charity, that I may carry it pure and undefiled before the judgment seat. The prayer for the cincture and the crucifix: O Lord Jesus Christ, who became obedient unto death, even death on the cross, grant me the true spirit of religious obedience. And the cincture was made of black leather was 2 inches wide, and it usually came in 3 sizes. The crucifix was worn in the cincture, and then it was attached to the bodice. The prayer for the cross and beads. O Lord Jesus Christ, grant me the grace to deny myself, to take up my cross and follow thee. The large rosary was worn on the cincture on the right side. You would loop it over through the cincture, 2 loops. The cross that was on the rosary was made of ebony inlaid on each side with a smaller ivory cross. One set was expected to last a lifetime unless accidentally damaged. Now, there was also a little pocket on the habit where you would put a little pocket watch. And this was most important for being on time for everything. The camp prayer, create in me, O Lord, a clean heart and renew a right spirit within me. The camp was made of heavy white muslin with 2-inch facing. Photographs from the past reveal there were slight differences in the shape. Later on, synthetic, non-flammable material was an option. The prayer for the coif was, place thyself, O Lord, as a seal on my forehead, that I may be of the number of those who follow the Lamb, wheresoever he goes. The coif was made of good quality muslin to fit closely around the face. This is the collar part, and then the piqué coif front is sewn to have a slight slant. This was the greatest challenge to sew and to get it to fit properly. At some of the mother houses, the coifs and gamps were sent to the main laundry to be washed and starched. Some sisters on nearby missions were able to mail theirs to the mother house in special metal boxes, while those who lived at a distance had to learn to do the starching themselves. Now the prayer for the domino and the outer veil, place on my head, O Lord, the helmet of salvation, and give me power against my enemies to obtain perfect purity of soul and of body. The domino is made of lightweight material and worn under the veil. The veil is made of lightweight black nun's veiling with a rolled hem. It is pinned in the back in 2 3/4 inch pleats that allows the 2 points to reach within 8 to 10 inches of the floor. The domino and veil were pinned to the coif on Saturday night with black-headed pins. The 3 pieces hung together on a hook overnight. This aided getting dressed in the morning in 20 minutes, the time allotted between rising and chapel. Sunday morning could be miserable if there was just too much starch. Accessories included an apron, blue or black, check or stripe. This was very important for when engaged in domestic duties, and it protected the habit. Another accessory was black outer sleeves. They buttoned on the shoulder, and they were worn at Mass and benediction and confession and chapters, in the parlor, and when traveling. Now, you can see why they were called big sleeves. Now, the last item I would like to show you is the church cloak and the prayer, "Clothe my soul, O Lord, with the nuptial robe of charity, and grant that I may ever love thee alone." This cloak was made of white woolen material, is semicircular in form, and reaches 3 inches from the floor. It's worn on holy days and first-class feast days. It would go under the gamp and under the veil, but over the habit. And Catherine Macaulay got the idea for a church cloak from the Carmelite fathers who were chaplains at Bagot Street. Now, there was also a black street cloak that was worn in the same manner as the church cloak from November 1st to April 1st, whenever one was out on the streets. Now, every teacher needed a pen and pencil holder on the cincture in the back under the veil. Now, in 1966, after Vatican Council II, a decision was made to modify the habit. The idea was to make it much easier to put on and to go about daily duties.